see. Not on your history. Met him before your peak. He's so connected to that woman that you used to be. But this sex will cut your memory. A couple strokes will put it in the envelope.
I gotta remember I want you. I gotta remember I want you. And it's just love. It's just making me think about someone new. You know I got so much to say. I try to hide it in my face and it don't work. You see through that I just wanna get with you. You right, got my deal, but I can't help it. I want you. You right, got my deal, but I can't help it. I want you.
Good evening, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to check me out yet a motherfucking again. I'm your girl Chrissy, and I'm back, mother effer. Period. I know some people probably be thinking like, why are you always welcoming the people that come back? It's simply because people typically don't come back. So if you came back to my channel, you definitely get a shout out. It's not that I don't care for the people that are here for the first time. I really genuinely care for the people that come back, because I know I am a lot to handle. I'm a lot to take. You know, my channel name alone, Chrissy's Unpopular Opinion, says it all. So I get it. So I appreciate those that come back. Okay, and I more so appreciate those who like, subscribe, and share. Either or. I appreciate you if you subscribe, for sure. So moving along, I knew that I wanted to do a video today. I did not know what type of video I was going to do. There is a video that I have pretty much prepared keynotes for, but I think I'm still in the process of research and really fully exploring and discovering myself within that video regarding my celibacy journey update, because there has been a whole shift in my celibacy journey. And if this is your first time here, okay, I am going on, I'm about 2 years celibate, like fastly approaching. So yeah, so I talk about my journey frequently on this channel, and it's literally a journey, and I just came across a totally different part of this journey, and you know, I'm still exploring what I recently, I guess, been enlightened to. You know, I feel like God has brought me to that point, but I'm not there yet to share it with you all. I'm still figuring it out. So when the time comes, I will definitely share that with you all. But as of right now, that time is not now. And just pray that, you know, I really fully get the understanding that God is really trying to show me when it comes to that. Now, I don't want to alarm anyone that has come to this channel for the first time. You know, I talk about God, spirituality, or whatever from time to time. I am not religious. My spirituality is based on stemming from God's word, as well as just my personal experience. I don't claim religion because I'm not holier than thou. I'm a sinner saved by grace. God is constantly, continuously working on me, and he has a lot more work to do, and he has done a lot of work. So I don't want anyone to be distracted by, you know, me, you know what I mean, because I give it to you real on this channel. I don't sugarcoat, I don't hide anything. I sip my wine and I be merry about it all the freaking time. I curse, and that is something that literally I am currently trying to get through, and God is working on me with. So bear with me on that. And that kind of goes aside along with what God has revealed to me. But in any event, I talk about relationships, particularly mine, on this channel frequently, especially one particular relationship that I just don't care to get into the specific, but there's a whole breakup journey playlist if you want to get in the known. I also have a celibacy journey playlist, so I talk about it a lot, you know what I mean? I try not to talk about it, but when the time comes, I'm not going to not talk about it. It's my truth. I ruffle feathers talking about it, but it's literally not my business. Like, my business is my truth, and I want to talk about my truth, and that's period. So anyways, if you care to keep watching, I purchased this card game. If you are new, I'm not talking to the people, the 5 followers that I have that always watch my videos. I'm talking to the new people. I purchased this card game. I actually purchased 5 card games from this brand. And this particular card game is called Relationship Debates. And it's basically to stimulate conversation, just to express myself. I normally engage during a live video on Facebook, and I'll post it sometimes on my YouTube channel, but I am currently deactivated on my Facebook channel, Facebook page. So typically if I'm deactivated and I feel like posting a video and I feel like touching some deep points, this is what I turn to. So it's been a while since I turned to the Relationship Debates card deck. And excuse the children you hear in the background. I have kids. Like, I'm a mother of the workplace. Yeah, so I'm just going to pull a few cards tonight. And I do not know what these cards or questions ask. This is my first time looking at these cards. And we got pretty much through a lot of the deck. I put aside the cards that I've already answered, I guess. So I feel like these are good conversation pieces to use when you go on a date or if you're dating. Once again, I don't know what these cards say, but I kind of go and read them for the first time and give my initial thought process, and it's going to be true. So I'm going to give you a disclaimer. This is a long intro as always, but disclaimer: you may not like what I have to say, you may not like my responses to this. Literally, once again, that is not my problem. I'm going to speak my truth, and it's going to be true, and it's going to be real, and it's going to come from a place that you may not agree with. You don't have to be here, okay? So if whatever I said so far has ruffled your feathers, including this disclaimer, I advise you to tap out now. If you got some thick skin, then keep watching, period. Okay, so let's get into the card game. So I have 4 random cards plucked from the deck, and I'm just going to try and keep it brief. 4 cards may turn into an hour video, so 4 cards is enough, okay? So let me just answer, and you know, if you got your wine, sip. If you smoke. I don't smoke, but you know, do your do. I want you comfortable. I want you vibing with me as I go through these questions. You feel me? All right, let's go. So card number 1: an engaged couple breaks up for 2 weeks but quickly reconciles. Just before the wedding, the man finds out that he got another woman pregnant during that break. What happens next? What do you think happens next? Like, some of these cards don't even need much thought to it, because either I've been in similar situations, or like, yeah, it's just pretty much I've been in similar situations. But what do you think happens next? There's no way I'm staying with a man that got a woman pregnant during our break, our quote unquote breakup for 2 weeks. Reason being is because if we were meant to get married and we were engaged and whatever happened caused us to break up, me personally, in those 2 weeks, the first thing I'm doing is not running to a man and jumping on his penis, especially raw. Like, that's not anything in my head. What's going on in my head in those 2 weeks is probably, like, I'm probably really going through it halfway, #miserable, you feel me? Like, just trying to figure out what's going on, what's our future looking like what he could be doing, and probably thinking that he's out there screwing, you know, Sarah, Millie, and Hannah. Like, I don't know, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going through it during those times when, you know, there's a brief breakup or whatever. So if his initial response to our breakup is not to reconcile or not to take time to examine what happened and to figure out how to make things work, which would be partially what I'd be thinking as well. And instead he like, oh yes, this is a time for me to go and screw somebody raw at that, and then think you gonna come and marry me, bruh. So now you saying like till death do us part, and that premarital baby that you had on me. No, it's just not gonna work like that. It's not. Like, you overly crossed the border. And I feel like with engagements, because I have been engaged a few times, you're gonna find out whatever you need to find out in that time. It's up to you to decide during the period of your engagement if you want to proceed or if you want to put a stop to it. Maybe by God's grace, which has been the deal for me, God will intervene and stop it for you. Okay, so there's some divine intervention or whatever the case may be, but the baby that he got going on the way with this girl that all of a sudden he done knocked up, you know what I mean, just before during the 2-week period before your wedding or whatever, yeah, that's divine intervention, and that's God saying no to me. So yeah, that's what happens next for me. Like, we're over. I'm going to be miserable. I'm going to be heartbroken about it for quite some time. Could be a week, could be a month, whatever it is. I've been through breakups before. Knowing me, I'll probably get over it a week like I normally do. But whatever the situation is, we're not proceeding with this wedding. It's just not going to happen, because it's beyond just cheating. You have now brought a human being into the mix, and now I'm supposed to live with that for the rest of my life. Literally, for the rest of my life. That's something that this child will be a reminder of. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like I said, I've definitely been put in this situation before. I wasn't engaged at the time, and I didn't even know the girl was pregnant, honey. Okay, they were creeping behind my back, and I didn't find out until 2 weeks after the baby was born. Way after, like a month or so after I left him, that he even had a baby. You know what I'm saying? So like, that was something, you know, later on down the line I was willing to accept, but in a moment where, like, looking back on it, like, nah, like, can't do it, buddy. Moving along. You're dating a person and they say they want to wait until marriage to have sex. How would you respond? This is so funny. This is so funny. I've never thought in a million years this question would pop up in the card deck, but it finally showed its beautiful head. So as I mentioned, I'm going on 2 years celibate, so this is something that I deal with when dating, you know what I'm saying? So if a man tells me that he's waiting until marriage to have sex, I'm going to start shouting, I promise you. I'm going to start shouting. I'm going to be looking at him like, thank you, Jesus, this must be my husband. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting closer. Like, because I'm not telling him, he's telling me he's waiting until marriage to have sex. So yeah, how I would respond, I would start shouting and praising God, because I would believe in that moment, like, this is the man that God has for me. No lie. Like, that's a big step. Like, it takes a different type of man to commit to something that like that, and it definitely takes a man of God, a man of statue, of value, of integrity, to say, you know what, I'm not getting what I want out of these broads. You know what I'm saying? Like, the woman that I want is somebody that's going to wait until marriage. And Russell Wilson did it. Megan, I don't know her preacher husband name, but Megan Good's husband did it, and they seem to have a beautiful marriage. Of course, we don't know like what's going on the inside of their marriage, but they seem to have God has blessed their marriages, and you can see it from the outside. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's not a matter of anything. You know what I mean? People want to. I get ridiculed a lot because of the decision that I made to remain celibate. Okay, and at first it started off as a situation where, you know, I'm just going to remain celibate until I feel like the guy deserves me, and that's going to take a lot. You know what I'm saying? More than I ever received from a man. You know what I mean? But then one day I realized that it's going to take for him to be my husband, and that's kind of like what has recently been revealed to me. Not the part about my husband, but more so that has been very much so defined. Like I can spell it out and say, yes, it's going to be my husband. But more so, like I said, it shows that this man is a man of God. You know what I mean? So I would like to think that regardless of what you see on the outside or whatever, that you genuinely see a woman of God. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get there, because I feel like I'm diving deep into territories that I haven't even fully explored, but I'm on that journey. I'm on that journey, and you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but I promise you, as soon as I can really deliver it to you, I will deliver it to you. But that will be a blessing, honestly, if I can come across a man that says, you know, he's waiting until marriage. Now, of course, you know, hearing it coming from a guy, like I'm thinking like, you know, ain't nothing wrong with you now. You ain't got nothing now, honey. Now, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully not in an instance like that, but I would just like to believe that this man is living with integrity and found out in his life through his experience that pretty much what he was doing before wasn't working, so it was insanity. You know what I mean? Doing the same things and expecting a different result. And that's what drawn me to this celibacy journey. You know, it drawn me to that because I had to change it up, because I wasn't successful with what I was doing before. So it says a lot to me, and it speaks volumes if a man could tell me for once that he's preserving himself for his wife. And that is a big plus. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't get this body for nothing. Of course, I'm freaky. I know how to use it when the time comes. It has nothing to do with that. I don't have any STDs, honey. You know, I'm very confident in the bedroom. It has nothing to do with that. It's just a lot of it stems from, you know, experience with one ex, and then coming to the realization where God drawn me to. It's just a lot of pieces of the puzzles that finally fit and put me in this position. So please don't judge me, and if you do, judge your mama. I don't care. Okay, this is a beautiful card. I think I'm going to hang this up on my work desk. Okay, moving along. All right. After having amazing sex, your significant other asks if it's the best sex you ever had. It is not. You're funny. Would you tell the truth or lie? Explain. So if it's my significant other, that means we had sex more than, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, the best sex I ever had was with this amazing man who's not my kid's father. And I mean, it was amazing sex. And I believe it was because it was only with me. We had an amazing connection. He was super intuitive to me and what I wanted, rather than trying to get his off. Like, so he treated me so well, you know what I mean? I feel like with me, I'm like, what they call it, a safety, what is it? Hold on 1 second. Okay, let's see. Not a hands. It has to be a sapiosexual. There you go. Finding intelligence sexually attractive or arousing. He was definitely super smart. Took time to listen, to understand. So I say all that. I get carried away every single time I talk about him. Y'all know who it is if y'all been watching. Mr. New Yorker. But for instance, with somebody else that I have had numerous of sex with, if he would have asked me, is this the best sex you ever had? I probably would have beat around the bush to not lie. So I probably would have said something in the lines of, like, it was amazing, it was really good. Like, because you can have great sex, or, okay, maybe not great. You have really good sex, and it still not be the best you ever had. You know what I'm saying? And same thing for me. Like, I don't expect, if it's not the best sex I ever had, I don't expect that I'm the best sex you ever had. You know what I mean? And that's because that word, sapiosexual, that definition that I just Googled, it says that it's based off of intelligent, that the intelligence that arouses you. But for me, it's more of a chemistry connection. Like, we connect with our mind, our body is in our soul. So that's what also amplifies the sex. So if this man is sleeping with multiple women, there's no way you can be the best sex I ever had. So I think I just would have beat around the bush. Like, why would you ask me that, first of all? Like, I'm like, yeah, it was amazing, it was great. Like, nobody ever asked me, is this the best sex you ever had? I never been putting it. And I'm glad, because the faces that I'm making right now, he would have got them same faces. I really just would have asked him, like, why? Like, why are you asking me that? That's what I would have said. Alright, we got one more part left. Alright, so a man has a side piece, but claims he loves his wife with all his heart. Is this possible? Explain. Personally, for me, I think this is what I believe, okay? I believe that it is possible to have more than one soulmate. I believe that. I say I think because I don't think I always believe that, but to have so many people in one world, you gotta find them somewhere, okay? So I'm not really sure. I haven't rested assured on that thought, but I don't know. But although I believe that, I do not believe that it is possible to have a side piece and to also love your wife with all of your heart, because what is the side piece there for? like, I understand there are marriages that swing, that are open, and I get that. You know what I mean? I'm all for, you know what I mean? And this is why I have Chrissy's unpopular opinions, you know, stemming from a church background. Like, my personal morals and beliefs may not go, you know, coincide with yours, but at the same time, I do not knock you for your own personal morals and beliefs. You know what I mean? I won't knock it if you live by it and you're true to it, but don't bring that ish over here, okay? So with that being said, I'm all for a marriage that is open and they understand the rules and guidelines to their marriage, but there's no way that you can tell me and explain to me that I love this person with all of my heart, because I have loved someone with all of my heart and have never cheated on him in his presence. And when I say in his presence, I mean simply I've never cheated on him while we were together. There was a moment that occurred, which some people beg to differ, when he was locked up. The first time my ex was locked up, and I was doing a lot for him financially, physically, like as far as like calling everywhere I can, applying pressure, traveling to different places, putting down, you know, money to get him home, like signing my life away, like literally doing whatever I can, because I loved him with all of my heart and I genuinely believed that he was going to be true to his word. And this is just it's so stupid. But while he was locked up, now mind you, when he got locked up, we weren't together. He left me, disappeared, vanished from my life. And literally about a month before he got locked up, which was like right after our baby was born. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it gets stupid. But fast forward, there was a moment, he was locked up for about like 5 months, and I've been doing every single thing I can. I was going through postpartum depression, which was the worst battle ever, okay? And one day he didn't appreciate me, and I did not like that. So I sought male attention without the intention of getting physical with this person. It just led that way. Not led that way, ended up that way. You know what I mean? I did eventually tell him about it, but of course we weren't together anymore when I finally did tell him about it. But that was the only time that I cheated on him. And let me tell you something. I'm not going to get into that, because that's neither here nor there. But what I can say is this. It is impossible to have a side piece, because let me tell you something. I cut that piece off. And that was a previous ex that I was in a relationship a few years prior than us being together. So yeah, I like cut it off immediately. And that's just how that cookie crumbles. So to keep a side piece going, it gotta mean that, you know, you don't really love them like you say you do. Mistakes happen. You can be pushed. You know what I mean? You can be pushed. You can feel unappreciated to the point where you seek another male or woman's attention. But if you genuinely love that person, can you keep allowing it to happen? A mistake only happens one time. I was with this man for almost a decade. I was with this man for over a decade, on and off. You know what I'm saying? And only one time did I ever step out. And that's while he was locked up. And we weren't even together when he went in. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, I don't think it's possible to love a wife with all of your heart and you have a side piece. You keep something like that going, because that will eat me up. But if it's something where you both communicated and you guys are having an open marriage, I still don't think it's love that you love with all your heart, because I don't know, I just feel like I just know how it feels when I was in love, and it's really literally I couldn't see anyone. And I would say at the time when I stepped out for that brief moment, that one night, I wasn't in love with him. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't in love with him. I was just steady pushing for something that just, it wasn't fitting. But I was trying to make it fit anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. That response probably sounds all over the place because I'm leaving gaps out and I'm trying not, I already gave TMI, honey. But I'm trying not to go there, child, so bear with me. Okay? But anyways, that was the 4th card, and if you enjoyed this session of relationship debates, please leave it in the comment box, give it a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, please. And to the people that have been subscribing to me, whether it was because of my locks or because of my relationship talk, self-love talk, I appreciate you guys. That means so much to me. I'm such a very, very slow growing channel. It's like, ha, you got some nerve to post another video. I got some nerve to have as many videos as people that got over 50K, 20K followers. I got some nerve, I tell you that, I do. But for some reason, I just haven't been pushed to the point where I'm going to stop. So I definitely appreciate my subscribers, and I noticed that more of my subscribers are watching my videos. So thank you! Because if you watched like a year ago, I used to come at my subscribers like it's only literally less than 1% of y'all. But as of recently, it went from 1 to 12%, child. Like, so yeah, that's a big woo woo. Because like, what's the point? Honestly, like, what's the point? It's because I love doing this. I'm just passionate with what I have to say. I'm passionate about my opinions. I'm passionate about the things that I have to share, because I want people to understand a journey and include in my YouTube journey. Will this journey ever make it past 4K? Wait, 4K, whoa. Will it ever make it past 400? Will it ever make it past 1,000? Will it ever make it past 10K? I don't know. Honestly, maybe not. But one day I'll call it quits if it don't. But that day is not today. So I definitely appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace and love and harmony. And be blessed. Yes.